Yeah, so I wake up this morning and I see a message, and it's Access Rattblood. Are you here, Rattblood?
Access Rattblood. Access Rattblood. Access Rattblood. Access Rattblood.
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
I'm not just fucking Rattblood.
Axis Rattblood, I see. All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about
And then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access, and then you got people like Access.
Are you here, Rattblood?
I'm not just fucking Rattblood.
Access Rattblood.
Most abundant and successful king hero that we are all sitting with at this very moment. Are you willing to accept that as a truth? That you are a worthy man and that your penis is okay?
all these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now.
Access Rattblood. Access Rattblood. Access Rattblood. Access Rattblood.
Are you here, Rattblood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rattblood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rattblood? I'll just start throwing spells at you, conjuring demons and otherwise. Are you here, Rattblood?
Who the fuck is Access Rattblood?
I'm not just fucking Rattblood, bitch.
All these Axis people, I'm starting to get paranoid about that now. I don't know what to do about it.
I'm not just fucking Rattblood. Alright, friends and enemies of YouTube, children of the metaverse, it is I, Access Rattblood. And I have come to express an observation that has presented itself in an interesting light. These voices echoing their contempt for others, their disposition, and their uncomfortable self-acceptance are generally the suffering individuals who have yet to come to terms with an understanding of what they are and where they're at. But they identify their pain and they do engage in sharing it in abstract ways. It is character flaws that we see it as, uh, shortcomings, displays of disruption and looping, consistent, repetitive states of expression that don't ever seem to change. These are inner sufferings that I have now come to understand. They have not found peace with themselves enough to move forward, nor have they released themselves enough from their inner struggle to proceed into a sense of development. One of these aspects to do such is to address the inner child, the hurt child, the disappointed child, the child that had expectations that were not met, the emotionally hurt and traumatized child that lies within every grown adult and is subsided for maturity, and thus they venture forth as mature adults. They carry with them all the pain that they enveloped in themselves as a child. And rarely, if ever, do they do the introspective work to reintroduce themselves to that inner child, bring a sense of peace and resolve where there is none, keep it from throwing its tantrums in a state of uh, uncomfortable nervousness, and then causing those that can't identify with the solace of what they could bring to the inner child spew themselves with their suffering, and they lay it upon the altar of YouTube, the Panelverse, and I imagine their local environment outside of the internet. So, as a key of understanding, my expression of childlike endeavors is only because I found peace there. And I express my inner child with an innocence and joy of fascination, such as having a reptile that you found along the road when you were young and you stick it in your pocket. For the day or so, it makes you a wonderful friend, and you don't see anything abstract about it, but others seem to cringe. And upon this, you sacrifice the inner child so that you can hold a station of acceptance among adults who are nothing more than hurt children expressing their suffering, spreading it out like a cancerous disease to anyone they can, weighing them down with burden and their lack of resolve to the condition. And to those people, I truly send a sentiment of empathy, but also a detestable state of, if you can't find resolve in this and you can't isolate the inner child to heal it, then your suffering will probably continually be eternal. Thus, I am Axis Rattblood, and this is Rattblood Radio. And for a moment, we are going to make sure that there are no freakophobics in the house. I have a disdain and a detestable position towards freakophobics, judgmental characters, finger pointers, and those who objectify others who have a different perspective or even an omni perspective. And this generally does the job to get rid of those intrusive minds that cast judgment, disruption, point fingers, and judge with contempt. And I say to you, I am the adversary. So let us endeavor. Let us endeavor into a moment to bestow upon those who wish to do a judgmental sense of persecution, a prayer for their salvation.
Hello, friends and enemies of YouTube. It's the Axis, and I've brought my baby doll, my everything, my world. And there's no other words that describe how amazing she is to me. Deus.
Our Father, who art in hell, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in hell. Give us this day our day to sin, and allow us to trespass upon others, as others trespass upon us. In your name, let it be done.
Need I say more? That generally gets rid of the freakophobics, the persecutive, the hypocritical, and those who have not found resolve within themselves to venture beyond the safety of their protocol. Tonight is Friday, the Sabbath, and I open the panel up tonight and wish to entertain and engage even the most abstract of mind, that maybe we can together come to a resolve or understand one another's disposition. I have seen the drive-by philosopher who has conveniently left us a descriptive term of his understanding. I do beckon him, Mr. Dominique, to please enlighten me with your wisdom. I do so wish to endeavor. And as far as disruptive opposition, I will not allow such behavior to intrusively inflict itself on a stream, but I will endeavor to differ with someone else's opinion, as long as they can engage me in a civil and comprehensive adversarial state. I would like to dump on you another night of power information at the beginning of the stream, but that's on rare occasion and only during solstices and equinox do you get that type of information. But may it serve you well. We have uh, fools and tools, of course, wonderful fools and tools. We have Maggot at 1111, Synchronicity, who witnessed a Masonic movement on this channel last night and brought to the attention that Cage Reality now may be a hunted target of the Masonic Order for intrusively implying himself and his knowledge upon a proficient Master Mason. Let's pray that Cage survives this Masonic onslaught of assassins that wish to eliminate him for being blackballed not once, but twice. Thank you, Maggot. That was wonderful information last night. So, wish to extend a great and generous thank you to all the panelists last night. They were absolutely engaging. And it was a continuous flow of personalities. And Don, you were always a wonderful addition to any profound statement that I generally endeavor in. You are wonderfully appreciated and always one of the most astute and welcomed guests. Mr. Cage, reality, sibling rivalry, arguments, contemptuous interactions that seem to lead to a testing of resolve. There is no animosity. You are a welcome guest here always. You know that, brother. I hope you do not hold to heart anything that has transpired. It was all in Izzy, who dropped off. I gave you a lot of thought today in between my moments of clarity and states of madness. And I think I have something to offer you. If you wish, I will make you this channel and my personal muse, muse number one to Rattblood Radio. But it is upon you to accept that position. The 5-speed, your inquisitive nature about man's inability to meet up to the standard of what you consider a morality, please return with a defined line and a definition of these things. I would love to endeavor in that conversation and continue forward with it. And Pamela's mystical music, what can I say? She speaks for herself, the cyber source. Be more. You're always welcome, brother. All I can do is offer you an air of safety in this channel. And to all the wonderful interactive chat that I had, active and rolling, you guys are 50% of this channel's presence, movement, information flow, and personification. Each and every one of you individually represent yourself quite effectively in the chat. And I do read it, I do pay attention to it. Maybe not as closely as others, but I do engage very intently on the panel. But you are all much appreciated. And I wanted to extend a great thanks for your participation into this endeavor. And as for the lurkers, the hate watchers, and those who are profoundly interested but don't have the integrity to engage, well, tonight would be that night. It's Friday. There is no agenda. There is not even a direction, a whim, a will, a sense of up, down, left or right, or even three-dimensional space. And I have fortified myself with the most effective digital drugs that I have available to me. KC, good evening. Another wonderful guest whose voice could stop a raging madman in his tracks and bring him to tears of absolute subtlety. Another amazing person. I mainlined some spooky action at a distance. I engaged and endeavored into some binary, and I am ready to metaversally express my experience. And hopefully share it with some wonderful guests. And if not, then I understand. You have probably overdosed on the metaverse, or you have fallen off the edge of it, which probably means that your boundaries were pushed. You reached the limit of your safety protocols. You found yourself in a state of freakophobia, and you cannot deal with your own concept of understanding the freakhood that is Rattblood. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I hope you got your Sabbath freak on. I hope that those of you who have it available are engaging in your synthetic necro behavior and indulging in the most potent form of digital stimulation, alteration, mind bending chemicals of digital drug distribution, whether it be here or somewhere else. And for those of you who still find yourself ablaze with contempt, I am working on the synthetic victim coming soon. It will bleed. It will scream. You can bind it. You can subdue it. You can gag it. You can handcuff it to a radiator. You can abuse it until it bleeds. And you can implement any type of obscure object to penetrate that synthetic skin, to get the simulated blood flowing, and to satisfy that hedonistic desire to abuse another person beyond misperceived conception. But this is just a synthetic state. Don't panic. No one is at risk. Dare you endeavor into such dark places that exist in your mind? I happen to spend many evenings there, and sometimes I just take a vacation on that side of the mental plane, and I bathe in that darkest concept and ideal in me. Oh, Pamela's mystical musings is lurking and working, but she sends everyone her best wishes. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, and I understand you have responsibility. You are a proprietarily responsible person. But tonight I let go of my responsible side. I'm engaging into all potentials, all that is relative, irrelative, that which is identifiable within the construct, and that which is only a variable of potential. And I wish for you, the lurker, the interactor, the panelist, the chatter, to demonstrate to me the level of freedom that you could allow yourself to venture to. What are your safety protocols? What are your indoctrinations that keep you from truly being an individual, self-actualized and proceeding forward on your square without any position to give up an inch? I'm curious. I handed over quite the introspective amount of knowledge at the beginning of yesterday's stream, and I would like to think that it wasn't in vain. I would like to think that someone, somewhere, took that food for thought, consumed it, and it nourished them into a new understanding. But maybe I asked too much. I can only speculate. You can solidify. But I suppose as the night rolls on and the madness picks up and things become bizarrely abstract, we will find, maybe with some possibility, if it had some effect, if the profoundness of simplicity actually made a dent in those that carry around the most stubborn and thickest of heads. We shall see. But as for the moment, after such a prologue, I will have to relinquish myself for a moment and end this I will share a song. Well, for those of you who know me, you understand my infatuation and enduring love for that particular genus of flower. It has been a powerful servant and a wicked master at times. Also, being completely enamored years ago and devout and loyal to the concept of someone being so profoundly impacted that all I can do is stand back in awe and observe with amazement and astonishment of poetry in motion. A individual that No matter how deep and hard I may look, I cannot find flaw. I cannot find fault. I cannot find blemish in a rare creature indeed. I hope that you all eventually one day find such a treasure to hold dear into your deepest thought, with a potential of possibility that will probably only manifest itself in your most precious dream. I also would like to give a couple of names that I forgot to give in the eulogy that I chose to give. One of them was a very, very close friend of mine, Scott Love, who met his demise because of a pound of marijuana. And to my brother-in-law, the one who gifted me the timber rattler, who was pitted with his motorcycle against the edge of a bridge by a cop car and was mangled and thrown from the bridge into the shallow waters below. Howard. A temporary and a moment of silent observation and reflection for people that had influence and effect my life, my experience, my world. I find it necessary to occasionally pay a little homage and humble myself to the understanding that this is temporary. Your position and station is temporary here. And no matter what degree the loss is, it is still something that should be taken with a particular type of seriousness. Lest we find ourselves victims to our own lack of respect. I had a beautiful song that I had written upon Rattblood's death. And I have loaded so many songs in here that apparently it has got lost in the mix. I figured the moment was deserving of such a song, in a moment to reflect on anyone that you may have lost, only to solidify your appreciation for being here and present now. Sarah, yes. Wonderful to see you. I'm glad you're back, and I appreciate the response that you gave to the video I posted. Um, your empathy is greatly appreciated. I don't get a lot of empathetic thought anymore outside of those who are minded and can perceive beyond their own interpretation of a situation. And the panel is open to you always. You are a welcome guest here. Which is another interesting endeavor and intrigue thing that I am going to address, seeing since we're just loosely hanging out on a Friday night, seeing what transpires, the possibilities. Apparently, there is an undercurrent even amongst those who dare to claim that they are not freakophobic or that they are astute, that they feel karmatically, by proxy, vicariously, or even by some state of influence, whether it be my endeavors or my actions, had an adverse effect on me in a negative way where my son is concerned. And this was a silent notion that was expressed in last night's stream where I least expected it, but from someone that I expected to express it out of a desperation. And I assure you that I am suffering no karmatic repercussion for the actions of someone who is belligerently out of control, beyond my influence, and demanded more from life than his fair share. And that I cannot be responsible for. So the next time somebody tries to bastardize me with the concept that I had any karmatic, by proxy, or direct influence upon the actions of my offspring, will be met with harsh revelations, that they need to be woken to the fact that they need to change their perspective before I change it for them. That's not a threat. That's a promise. Now that we're past that moment, let us transcend into a new one, a more peaceful and solace state, seeing since I engaged in an excessive amount of benzos after last night's 12-hour endeavor and found myself comatose, coming out of one of the deepest sleeps that I have been privileged to in a while, trying to figure out where the fuck I was, only to regain my senses through musical stimulation of a particular brand. I stimulated myself with the sound of music, that accepted and legal drug, the one that everyone seems to be addicted to. And I utilized it to endeavor into this, a night of self-expression, engagement of the abstract, potentially the profound, and without course or direction, as if I had set forth into the open seas, the great cyber seas, the unexplored, without a direction, a compass, but with full mast and sail, captain of my own ship. I like the sound of that. Cyber Magellan, cyber seas. I wrote a song about it, and I thought maybe people were aware enough, or maybe had enough understanding to realize the message that I was relaying with it. But once again, do not expect a realm of higher thinking amongst the masses, but an individualized perspective I did receive positive response. I suppose it would be in the infamous words of Jim Morrison, is I guess they just didn't get it. That that's my station in life, it seems, from the beginning to this point. And I look back and I wonder, have I ever been interpreted in a coherent way to others? Or do they just gaze at the anomaly, the madness that is me? Perspective outside of myself, so its relevancy virtually completely unaffected. It's still amusing nonetheless. Completely amusing. Maybe I'll upload it and give it a second round sometime or another. Whenever I feel that I'm lost it. The cyber seas, the waves are crashing on me, and it becomes more than I can bear. Maybe that particular tune will bring some type of peace and solace to me. And you, potentially. I'm not sure exactly what the mood is out there. I'm not completely sure. We are products of a fucked up society as it is rock back on their heels and smite their creation. Hope they don't look up when it rains. Lest they fucking drown. Well said. Very well said. Narcissistic, closed circuit endeavors into self gratification, which I can appreciate self gratification, overindulgence in one's fulfillment of desires. That is not foreign to me. But to utilize someone else's disposition to feed that need to me is intrusive, unwelcome to say the least. And I'm kind of curious as a platform operator. There are those particular nights where the energy rolls and flows, and I try and correlate it to some type of energy, potentially the heavenly bodies, maybe a bioelectric field of enhancement through ionic stimulation, or whatever it may be that heightens the energy, intensifies the mood in the moment, and creates an electrical flow amongst us as bioelectrical beings. And there's a polarity of exchange that takes place, and my insatiable endeavoring into overindulgence, I wonder, do they wear themselves out? Do they utilize a platform to exhaust themselves into the scrying mirror with the Ouija board attached to it? And then they nestle themselves into the comfortable state and reside into sleep or other. Sometimes I am curious about such things because I know what I do whenever I'm not available. Profound. This is for Izzy, who I just ponder with reason her disposition. If you're wondering the correlation, upon pondering her disposition expressed, I almost believe that she can reach darker states than even I with her disappointment because of expectation. An expectation is the core sense and mechanics behind disappointment. We are always disappointed when the expectations are not met, or you have expectations that you consider to be expectations of another person. Has brought many a relationship to an abrupt halt. It has stifled lovers in their tracks. It has brought murder out of the heart of man, and he has slain because of expectation. Some people apply a sense of personal expectation that they never seem to find peace with. And then others have an extreme expectation of their peer group or those that they socially find themselves in communication with. And for some reason, if that expectation isn't met, they become filled with opposition, contempt, bewilderment sometimes. But are we truly designed to meet other people's expectations that we have no obligation to? Isn't that what built the basis for social acceptance and a type of common communication in the realm of society? The expectation that someone is going to be courteous to you. That's an expectation. Do they owe you that? Did you earn it? Or do you just expect it? Do you give it? Do you meet other people's expectations so that your expectations can be met? That's generally a losing situation. The more you expect from someone, the greater the disappointment. So when you don't have that expectation, it's when you don't set a stipulation on somebody by a preconceived notion of what you expect them just to give you. I think that's the root of a lot of people's contempt. I know it is mine. I expected the human species to work coincidingly with the constant and perpetuality and a self-sustainingness and a freedom of unbound measure, without restraint, without chain, thus fruit providing its own kind abundantly. and the potential of movement unrestrained by nothing more than practical need. Thus, my forefathers seem to have that sense of understanding about themselves before the encroaching of manifest destiny. The inevitability of the expectation. We owe nothing to anyone. At the end of the day, if you're met the expectation you had for yourself, then that's what matters. Very insightful, highly insightful. Falls along the lines of treating others as you would want to be treated. That's the key to getting along with other humans, is treating them the way that you would want to be treated. Seems to be a lost concept, a forgotten state of, I suppose, courtesy. I don't see that as being a principle of endeavor, especially in this new digital frontier. But as long as I meet my own expectations and I proceed forward with a bit of humbleness, gratitude, and reflection in how I treat others, then at least I haven't failed myself for that day. I agree, Sarah. I agree totally. Your highest expectation should be from you, about you. That should also be matched by how you treat others, how you imply yourself on others, and once again, your irrational expectation from others. It's like two young people falling in love, and they have that overwhelming sense of desire for one another. And they disregard expectation for the heat of the moment of passion. And they entwine themselves in physical desire and a flustered heat of passion. And as the days go by and those moments become more fleeting, and that flame that burns so brightly and high in the beginning starts to dwindle into amber, and you start implementing expectation instead of acceptance, and you stop allowing them to be forgiven for their minor intrusive behavior, and the noose tightens, the expectations rise, the contempt builds, and then at last, that embrace that was promised forever, that heat of the moment passion that was supposed to burn like a sun to light the solar system, dwindles into contempt and a failure to meet expectation. And thus comes the end of the young, passionate lovers into disappointment and sadness, heartbreak, because you lost the ability to release yourself from that expectation from someone else. Some would say it's responsibility, some would say it's priority. But in the beginning, priority, responsibility, and even expectation is cast to the side for the heat of the moment of that passionate endeavor. That the same as a human life will eventually bend its forehead to the same god of death that we succumb to, that particular lesser state of God in the death realm and arena that snuffs out the lover's flame and brings to an end that passionate endeavor. I have found my contentment and my solace and an admiring admiration from a distance, never testing the potentials, never engaging the limitations of possibility, never starting that fire to be snuffed out. And in that, I found peace, submitting all the possibilities that could fulfill one's desires and heart, left to just that possibility. Never solidifying it and always leaving it open to potential. I suppose that's a part of my madness. Maybe it's a part of yours you just haven't discovered yet. I had hoped people would have been more engaging on a free-flowing stream. I had hoped to endeavor into delights of fancy and conversation and exchange, but isn't that an expectation? No one is obligated to it. It is wholly and solely voluntary. But as I ever endeavor into my inebriation. I will definitely echo you as a sounding board. And I will watch the numbers rise and fall according to whatever I administer that stimulates or repels. Because tonight, I'm not going to put my mind against the press to try and bring some understanding or enlightenment. No, tonight, I just am. And I think that's okay. And I think it would be a much reprieved state for all of those who are on that constant struggle to alleviate themselves from being human. And the human experience, those who seek to transcend, be enlightened, to rise above, to reach states of consciousness beyond general sensory perception. And it seems to be an amazing talk that most engage in, as if they do not experience or endeavor in the moment, just being a human, experiencing things in a physical way with bound and tied emotion, without the ever impending need to continue that struggle and fight against oneself, not to fall into a state of submission to the physical body and the experience that you will only get this particular consciousness and chance to experience. Oh, we have the ship machine in back. I do not wish to engage such drab and unimaginative engagement. But I will leave it up to the chat. So here you go, Mr. Ship Machine. Let's see how your popularity as a regent fares in the chat. For those of you who cannot resist but to engage in the observation of the ship machine trying to antagonize me, put a 1. And for those of you who have had enough and give no shit about his exiling from the Rattblood environment, put a 2. And I will take a lack of response as just remove the fuck. Well, Mr. Regent, so far it's you are unrecognized and a 2. Doesn't seem you fare very well here. Because as far as Access Rattblood is concerned, I'm going to also implement my voice with a digit. Wow. Obviously, you're not quite a approved body of self-imposed idealism of regency. Yeah, you should probably go somewhere where you actually might be accepted with your type of thinking and behavior, because it's not wanted here, it's not welcomed here, nor, especially tonight, will it be tolerated here. And by majority, you have been denounced of your throne and exiled from the realm of Rattblood. And that is that. It's amazing, the persistency, the audacity, and the intrusive arrogance of others. As if I'm going to provide my platform for them to become insultive, disruptive, and above all, disrespectful. Why, that's tourist behavior and a buzzkill in the digital realm. And I just managed to reach a new peak in my endeavors into the digital drug that I'm doing. And I don't need that influence to bring me down. Slow with the flow and the roll. I am profoundly curious, though, as to the energy that seems to be amidst the digital world in this platform tonight. Has everybody exceeded their level of expressive idealism? Have I not presented news enough for you to develop a build, a share? Maybe we should ponder in a calm and cool cycle of reason, the state of just being. And I'm cool with that. As a matter of fact, Seeing since we're on this reserved state, let's enhance. All right. I don't know if you guys lost audio on that end, but I know that I lost audio on this end. But I want to share a wonderfully sweet notion, and one of the first um, personal emotions that I ever expressed through music when I first started writing music. And this little song here was a song of hope, of unlimited potential, to where the human heart knows no bounds and has no restraint, and it endeavors into love and the hope for love, and it's expressed in a few words with a bit of melodic harmony. So if you allow me a minute, I will share not only an image for the song.
If I could play one more note before I fade off to sleep, then I'd know that my life soon would be complete. If I could run my hands across the strings and hit a note that gently screams, before the night turns into day, before the light takes me away, I have to find the note to say, I need you, yes I do.
Now behind this icon, hidden from your view, is a profound sense of inspiration, admiration, and a possibility and a potential that will always remain a potential, lest it become polluted, lest it become corrupted by familiarity and contempt. This particular individual here has been the object of my admiration, my devotion, and my absolute loyalty as far as that goes with an impersonal perspective. I apologize for that. I was uploading a particular song that hopefully you guys will appreciate. And to break, the panel is open, and I have no agenda. So if you want to endeavor into the book of Melchizedek in the final chapter, I'm very open to that. It is very relaxed and solemn in the mood tonight. And I do wish to share this particular tune. Maybe you guys will have an appreciation for it that it has yet to receive. Okay. Hopefully, there was audio to that. Not a problem, Dupree. If you guys were able to hear the audio to that, could I get a 5x5, a 1, or a thumbs up? Something? An indication? If it's fine. And if you could not hear the audio to that, there we go. Thank you, Fulgentor. Thank you, Sarah. That was a particular endeavor that one night I was selling the cyber seas, and that is the particular mood and the music that I felt, and I tried to capture it and express it in sound and visual for what it's worth. It does have a lot of meaning to me. It kind of shows the infinite possibility, but the cold reality of individually navigating through the storm that is YouTube. And for a moment, I felt a sense of overwhelming solace and peace. And I tried to capture it in the moment. And this is a continuation of my endeavors with music surrounding the Hindu deities, which is kind of an expressive ground of familiarity that I like to think that I share culturally with not only the Hindus, but with Izzy. I think that a little bit of recognition and a little bit of solidification for her being would be quite helpful to her esteem and her position and look on things. But this particular little song here is not very long, but is relevant.
Everything around me became suddenly unreal, as if in a dream. All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed, my extremities pulsating with tingling sensation.
You're never satisfied, and therefore never happy.
Everything around me became suddenly unreal, as if in a dream.
You're never satisfied, and therefore never happy.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed, my extremities pulsating with tingling sensation.
satisfied and therefore never happy.
Oh, obviously not a moment to be shared with the particular state of things as expressed by synchronicity. Let's endeavor into some of the more tranquil, westernized, free-flowing music that I developed when I first started this platform. Greetings.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I'm just taking it easy this evening. Kind of just riding the ether.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here on a Saturday.
It is a little after 1 o'clock on a it'd be Saturday now.
Hmm.
We just put away our Friday and endeavored into the second half of the Sabbath, and we're just kind of rolling with the tide, going
Yes,
with
it
the
was Freaky
current.
Friday. It was Freaky Friday. Now it's Sassy Saturdays.
Right. I kind of just fell into a free state of just comfort and kind of whatever the mood felt like, and I really wish that I could have completed the Hindu song. Those are a couple of my prized songs, and I don't know what's wrong with the resolution on my images. That's kind of unusual, but I'll take those glitches as universal hints or suggestions. Figure if you force it, it's
Mhm.
just not ever going to come out right.
Yeah, I have my battle with the internet, so yeah, you got to put it down and I know I have like I'm dyslexic, so I can't write properly. So then I use the voice text, and then that just plays on it. And then when I'm editing on the tablet, I've got fat fingers and I can't do touch. So it's like I've got limitations everywhere. But I battle through it. And when there's a will's a way, and the will beats the skill, I work it out when the time's right. But sometimes I have to put it down.
But you do so well in the chat. I mean, you man, you are absolutely impressive with the amount of response that you have, and
I get a
highly
push.
legible.
Like now I've got the
What's
push
that?
to you like to go on YouTube now for a while now and to do my like to speak my stuff, whatever, like, you know, and I get a push and I'm like, okay, I sat back and observed and I always get this push to say and to watch what I say and be considerate, but I get this push and I get this push to say and I'm on, okay, wait. And when I first meet someone, I'm very like I've got no filter sometimes, and the first thing I say sometimes, it's really I'm on board with it, no matter how far fetched it is. It's sort of like I don't know. It's just like I don't know what I'm writing sometimes, but it's sort of like I just go with it, and it's usually right. I don't know.
Maybe
It's
you're
weird.
channeling. Maybe
Yeah, I am. I've always done this. I am because I am sort of like they try to make me a clairvoyant and a medium. And I've studied that. I don't like that. I'm a clairsentient. I know this, so I'm always trying to like sharpen that now. And I understand, like just settle with the tools that you know, and that's right. Yeah, and sharpen that because I do all right with that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything else
you
is
do quite well. I sometimes, you are the highlight of the chat because you just roll with it, and I'm like, yeah, she's got to be either automatically, kind of that automatic writing thing where you're just going
yeah,
off
yeah,
the
yeah,
energy, or you got
yeah.
a
It's a
flow to
in the
you.
Yeah, because I scribble and I'm light language, I'm channeling. And it's a scribbling to do because we've got this show. I've got two shows. That picture is Curiosity Show. That's when I grew up. And another show I liked when I was young in the 80s, there's my age, but anyway, yeah, was Mr. Scribble. And he used to do scribbles and turn them upside down, turn them into things. And it's the scribbling and the dueling. And he used to say, upside down, Miss Jane. And I go, interesting.
Right. I uh I was taking a perspective look because I had slowed myself down after last night's stream so I could get some sleep. And when I come out of that haze, it I wasn't so much concerned with my present environment, and I was kind of taking a retrospective look on the stream that we done last night and all the different personalities, and that was a rare occasion for that much energy to be in movement, and I was profound at the people, the interaction, the sharing. I mean, it was just it is still with me. I mean, I can still feel that energy, and I'm like, yeah.
It's
So I
Aries,
wasn't.
the equinox. It's the first spark. It was like the first, So it's like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Like it was yeah, that feeling, like that. Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. Go ahead.
Aries here right now. We just finished Pisces, all right. So now we're starting all over again. It's a cycle, and here we go again. That's why I've got to step up and show up now. And now I speak, and apparently when I talk, it's got volumes and that and all this stuff. So it's just like great. Everyone's going to hear my voice. So yeah, the new
Well,
year,
I
no new thing.
appreciate you coming up. I was just kind of reminiscing with some of the older music that I had done. It's more just spacey, free floating. You know, it doesn't have a lot of implication towards direction. It just allows the mind to wander, and seems relevant tonight. So I was really appreciating being able to kind of do a flashback on some of that. But no, I'm absolutely glad that you're up here. It's on rare occasion that we get you on
Yeah, it's
panel.
a lot of courage and that. Like, about it's time. It's like, come on, just do it now. Just do it. It's just like, but yeah. So, oh, well, here we go. I'm so nervous.
Yeah. Well, Fridays are peculiar on, uh, especially the panel verse. Um, I don't know if it's because everybody's out doing maybe their own individualized thing and uh, their city, their town, or wherever they're at, or if I haven't quite figured out um, the difference, but Fridays are different than the rest of the week, and you never know what kind of energy you're going to run into on a Friday. So I just kind of knowing that, just didn't have any real expectations for where I was headed this evening with the show, or where it was going to wind up. It was just let's see what happens.
Freaky Fridays.
Freaky
You get all.
Friday.
I love, because I like all different things. So I like weekends. I like when everyone lets their shoulders down, but people get scared to put the mask down. And then when they do it, they get defensive, and then they say things against you, and they make you enemy. It's so funny. It's like, well, you're the one that revealed it. I don't care. I'll play along.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you know by now. I don't really reserve much as far as secrets go as my life is, or even my shows. They vary. They may be an intense one that is highly impactful and full of information, and then I don't ever run out of the ability to entertain myself, so I'm not at a loss. I just kind of look at it as an opportunity to switch into glide.
Yeah, adapt and flow, and sometimes get the hell out of there. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's not always a available opportunity to be able to just kick back and enjoy the fruits of a channel, and I don't, I give a shit less what people's interpretation or even their, uh, I don't know, opinion, because it doesn't apply I don't allow it to apply. It doesn't affect me. It's not me with that opinion, and that makes it their problem. And if they don't like the atmosphere, then there are thousands of other channels that they are very welcome to go to. But I don't think they're going to quite meet the caliber of people that find their way here. I do have a wonderful, wonderful group of individuals that come here and share. And I'm sure that even outside of those that share, those that are just watching, you know.
Watch it for a while.
Oh
The rock,
yeah.
like when I really resisted the world, and before like a year or so ago, because I take myself out and come back in, and I got the push. I've got to go on YouTube. I'm like, oh, I don't want to, because I've got other platforms. I got knocked out. You know what I mean? I got attacked and whatever, and I've been locked out. They're still on there. I can't get back into them. But anyway, so I go, okay, I'll give it one more shot. I can't, like, this was a year ago, but I sat back and I watched for many years, and then at one stage I couldn't. I had to put it down, and then it was like, and then when I did come back, I got into I got into the spirit stuff, like the soul trap stuff, and that's how I found Stephen. So yeah.
Oh boy.
Then I stayed and then I got sick, and then I got out. I stayed there for a while, but and I got out. But I was there, but I was there for a bit. I watched everyone for a while. And I'm thinking, okay, let's see. But I did have that mentality, like everyone's like everything's shit, but you can't have that, because year 2010, I got to do a live and talk about what happened to me in year 2010, because I said my life's shit, can't get worse. Oh, it did. It did, from one to bang, 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 bang. All right. And I started having that mentality too about a year or so when I was listening to Steve. I kept saying, oh, it's a hell room. It's like, and I got sick. I really did. I couldn't walk. And it was about November. And then I stopped watching him, and I quit. I go, no, I've got to stop this. And I flipped it. And I realized, no, I'm going back to my old ways. And I snapped out of it. But I understand the mental abuse and how you can get side up and carry, and get astray, and how society makes you think you're worthless and stuff. The influences are big, and how people hesitate, and it's just like, you got to go out and do it and try it and find out for yourself, because you never know. You can't trust no one else's opinion, because if you seek outside yourself, you're going to attract a narcissist.
Right. And one thing that I definitely want to emphasize tonight is, as much as people are constantly pressing to, basically dehumanize yourself by ascension or higher states of understanding and consciousness, it's okay to do an endeavor into the human experience, because this is a rare occasion in the development of one's spiritual or energy self. And this is a limited run here. And I think that when the moment is right and you're not up against a lot of opposition, and you're in that state of calm, and you should experience uh, just the full on enjoyment of the body, being in it, being a part of it, the emotions, uh, the thoughts, the feelings, uh, the environment around you, without all the heavy thinking and trying to stay in a certain mind frame, and just experience the mind and the body working together, experiencing the moment in this reality, in this plane of existence. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's always, while you're doing the work, time to take a break and just breathe.
They're your lazy days. It's a signatism. It's a wave, right? And that's with the cycles of the year, within yourself and without the Mac and the Mick. It's you've got your ups and downs. You're gonna have, and you got to watch it. You don't go too high, because you're gonna go, you're gonna drop quick. So you got to control it. So it's just like, yeah. So I wrote a poem, I did a song about that. Yeah. So about going up and down. Yeah, just going free. Just write it. It's just because you got to. It's so hard, because it's like, yeah. So it's just you got to. It's like a wave. Okay, we'll go back to that. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, it's a wave. Yep, the lazy days, because You got to, because you've got to quieten the mind, and you've got to have those moments. And the universe is going to give it to you. Because sometimes, when you're working a 9 to 5 job, I hear people a lot, and I see this, and they go, I want a break, and then they break their leg, and then they're complaining. But then you ask for it, you wanted a break, and the universe gave it to you. But they don't even appreciate that. Then they're struggling to, and they're complaining. I go, oh look, it was a time for you to sit back, and that's what COVID was. When we all got isolated, it was time to sit back and observe what was going on. But everyone got caught up, and this is how they split. It's like when every time you get that moment, it's that moment to think back. That stillness. It's a time to sit back, but people don't realize it.
Exactly. And, I could be on here for a week, and in that week, virtually every channel is going to be pushing the concept of, ascension, or, this doing this potential work to stay in a certain frequency range, or, you know, and to kind of set the body aside and do all the spiritual work. Well, no, I say that there is a point where take a break from it and enjoy the body, enjoy being in it, enjoy your environment, and it's okay because once you get past that, there's always time to do the work. And there's always time to resonate at different frequencies, but you don't always get the chance to just kick back and enjoy being in the body you're in and experiencing your environment.
The days of the week, one day we rest. So when you
Yeah,
can do it like that, and with you can go with the energies or do it. You got to give that. That's why sleep's important. and, and sometimes I don't sleep I don't sleep properly or whatever, and people don't understand. It's like, but when I do rest, I know it's time for me to rest because sometimes I'm up so many hours, but then I do rest, and I do so I'm aware of that, and that's my body shutting down. It needs that.
oh, absolutely. That's why I made reference a couple times tonight to this being the Sabbath, which it is actually um, the Hebrew Sabbath, or the Seventh Day Adventist Sabbath. And I felt, wow, if ever an omniist is going to use a resource from any of the many religions, philosophies, and stuff, well, I'm going to pull this card right now from our buddies, the Israelis, and recognize this as a time to rest, just a Sabbath break. And that's not implicating that I have devoted myself once again to Christianity or Judaism. It's just that energy. If there's a large number of people that are at rest, then I can experience that energy amplified by their participation into that rest. That sustaining from the work. You still with me?
Yeah, I just liked that. It was like a good moment of silence.
Right?
Let it sink in. Could I get it?
Yeah, that's why I say, I have an omnious perspective, and that means, I can tap into what they amplify as a resource, whether I use their philosophy, their knowledge, their wisdom, or I tap into their energy as their doing their religious cycles and applying that energy there. And what better energy in a day like today than to tap into that uh, Judeo and Hebraic Sabbath energy where you're just at rest. It's all good. You know, after the Sabbath, we'll go back to work. But today we rest.
Sounds good to me. Every day's a rest day for me unless I have to do something. Actually, today is actually a rest day. Saturday is because I've been busy. I'm catching my son up with a homeschooling. So we did a lot of work and he done swimming yesterday. So it was like, okay, it's all done. Last few weeks he had all his appointments. Now today's like, whew. Just
So,
relax.
yeah, yeah, 12 hours of, the Sarah's got their, like 12 hours, um, awake and 12 hours to rest. You know, I think that one day out of a week is kind of necessary to sustain from all that you've endeavored in, and at least to solidify it or to recognize your accomplishment.
What about that religion? Is it like Muslims? Don't they all don't they like not eat at night time? Which one's that one? When it goes night time, they don't eat meat, or or they don't eat. It's sort of like at night time or something like that. I can't remember. It's one of those religions. It's that's one, I don't know, but it's like when nightfall too. So you shouldn't eat when it's night time. So that's when your body digests.
I'm not sure which one you're referring to that sustains from eating at night. Um, I know I live at night. When the sun goes down, that's when I wake up, and then when the sun comes up, that's when I go to bed.
Yeah, we're
So
night owls here. Yeah, I get that. I understand that.
right. So my eating habit is my breakfast is usually around 6 o'clock in the evening, and then my dinner maybe 12, 1 o'clock, and then my dinner is just generally before I get ready to shut down for the evening or the morning. I become quite used to that cycle.
You shouldn't wake up and eat something. Like if you wake up at 6, you should have something about at 10 o'clock, like something light, and then have something heavy at lunchtime, and then something light. Everyone just eats wrong.
Yeah, I figure as long as I, you know, kind of apply the right energy into almost a influence or a prayer or a suggestion for nourishment, I think that that intent takes any adverse effect of what I'm eating away.
I know I'm European, right? And I see how they eat a lot big, but they eat big in the afternoon, then they eat big again at night. I go, just eat big in the afternoon. Don't eat big again at night. This is growing up. And you wonder why you got high cholesterol and all that sort of stuff. You're not burning it off.
Well, I I really don't have high blood pressure. I don't have high cholesterol. Um, I've got a pretty good metabolism. Uh, even with the adverse endeavors that I have, and No diabetes, no nothing like that. Just the battle wounds and the deterioration of the skeletal system and damage to the nervous system, which I'm in the process of repairing.
Yeah, me too. I've got nerve damage. I've got like
So
pulsating. It's like he's done witchy goal on me. Then he goes here and there and everywhere. It's like it's just, you don't understand what. Like I understand when people go, no, it's like, yeah, I get it. Like it's just terrible. It's just crazy. But I
yeah,
understand it.
I'm sure I was pretty content with moving on, man, but it wasn't my time, and I'm still needed, and luckily enough, I was able to have the esoteric knowledge to reconstruct what I had allowed to deteriorate.
They told me when I
And
was
we'll
20 that I could walk again, and they told me to walk. They told me to walk 40 minutes, and they told me 20 minutes there and back. I said, I've got kids. It makes it, how am I going to do that? I kept saying to the doctor, he goes, 20 minutes and back. He goes, it's going to get your hips moving. So, and then do Pilates. He goes, you've got to keep moving your hip. You've got to keep moving, your body when you're in pain. You've got to keep moving. And he goes, when you reach 400,000 steps, you release those natural endorphins, and it snapped me out of my
right.
depression. Yeah, yeah. So you've got to get into a happy place. That's one way of doing it. But physically, you've got to do it sometimes.
Um, I haven't reached probably 4,000 steps yet,
I know you
but
can't.
I'm on my
Forgive it.
way.
Yeah, I know. But that's what helped me when I was younger. And that's what, and I keep doing that now. And that's what, and it helps me. And it helps me, it's really weird when I actually go for a walk and people don't understand yoga. I haven't done yoga in a while, but I understand the importance of it. How just how your awareness just changes, and just from going from a walk or doing half an hour yoga, it's really yeah, you come back and people understand, okay, how to release attachments from how breathing. When you leave the house, you should breathe, right, and let it go. Then get in your car and then breathe. And then when you go to work, and there you go. And then when you come home, breathe and so forth. People carry their stuff wherever they go. They don't understand just easy how to let go things, and you can do it with breathing. So you've got to make sure how important to breathe. Breathing is so important
Right.
to detach from thoughts and not to bring your baggage home from work, because a lot of people do. A lot of people err. This, it's like I see it. So it's just like there's boundaries, and that's how you got to be aware of your own. How you detach.
And whenever you start working with the physical, you become a lot more earth oriented and harmony and grounded. I'm starting to develop that. I've spent so much time doing introspective and energy work and doing endeavors outside of the physical self. And now it's kind of like almost relearning being a part of the environment. But I have friends that stop by now. I
That's
have
great.
people I associate with. Yeah, I got one particular friend. She brings her two young boys over, and I let them play with the music equipment, and they sit around and a state of mesmerization on the miniatures and the skill modeling, and it brings life to me when they're here.
Warmth.
That, yeah, that youthful energy and that sense of fascination they have. And they're very well behaved.
I love seeing the three kids that ask questions. The one, because I was one of these kids, and I've got four, and none of them are like me, thank God. But it was like, Mum, it was like Mum and Dad, especially Dad. Dad, why is the sky blue? Why is this? I was always one of those. And a few years ago, I was walking down the street, and I was down this alleyway, and I turned back and I heard this little kid go, Dad, why is this? And I go, oh, they're still around. The kids are still around there. Because my kids, they thought my youngest two, they're thinkers, right? Which I knew they were thinking that, but they weren't verbal, so I helped them be vocal, right? So, but I know they overthink. They're airheads sort of thing in the heads too much. But anyway, but I love kids that are very like intrigued and they want to know and they just want to know, full of like because I remember. Like when I was a kid, and you know, I was so keen, like those ones that are keen.
Yeah, the innocent fascination with um, understanding and
They're
just the
raw,
new.
they're real, they're authentic and they're themselves. They got this. I love it. I go, be your true self. Like if you got like, I love it. Like they'd be so honest. Like they'll make fun of you. They'll go like they'll be like they'll make but they don't realize it's just like. But they're
Yeah,
being
and
honest.
they don't do it maliciously.
No, but it's just like, oh, look at the purity. They don't realize what they're saying. Yeah. Like it's just so beautiful though, because it's like because I've got this filter too, and I've got to learn to be considerate how I word myself sometimes. All right, but I'm sometimes just blind.
Right? And that's the way they are. Is you know they find themselves overwhelmed with stimulation with the music equipment here and the pets that I have, and the electronics and all the art and the miniatures uh, and sometimes they get lost and they just start speaking directly from the moment, and I'm like, that's cool. That's when I know that they're truly engaged and content. But I needed that around me to inspire that youthful energy, to be able to recognize that sense of uh, amazement, and that was
Enthusiasm.
really a key. Yeah, that was a key to help me regenerate a sense of healing. Is having them around, and I was fortunate to have them around, and they still are.
I tell my kids not to grow up, just be responsible and can't be accountable. But because yeah, and don't grow up and be a stiffy. All right, so it's just like I lost myself, and I don't want my kids to. And it was just like the proper way what to do. You got to do it the Greek Orthodox way. You got to do it the government way. You got to do it this way. So it's just like I tell them, I stopped having fun because I had to be a mum or I had to be something. So it's like no, like I'm still gonna have fun because this is what I've got. You're gonna do a chat. You're gonna do anything. Have fun with it this time. So I'm all about having fun. All right, even though I talk about mental health and all that, but finding the way I got out of it and how to cope and the fun side about it. There's always, there's a flip side to it, and so it's just like the fundamentals and all this stuff. People have lost their inner spark. No, I'm dribbling.
That's a useful resource, and it's a good instilling into the youth. Some type of uh, foundation principle to their interaction.
Oh yeah, with my kids not to grow up. Yeah, oh, that's what I'm doing now. Like, because since year 2000, I taught women and all that, and then I did my kids thing, how to raise kids and the parent thing, and how we like expectations and all that. So I went out because everyone told me you got to do it like this, and I went out and I studied it, and I got the books and I did it all right, and then I worked it with my kids, and I found out what actually does work. All right. But it was like so it's just not really hard, but no one wants to change. Everyone goes back to their old ways because it's easy. No one wants to do the hard work because the first 2 weeks, then 28 days, then 3 months, or like maybe 100 days. Yeah, you kick it in, pip it 100 days, but then it starts all over again. But it's the first 2 weeks with your children, with the headache. But no one wants to do the first 2 weeks of anything. The first 10 days, they put it, and then they give and they go fall back. It's just the cycle.
Yeah, it takes a minute for the body to adapt, but it takes a particular uh, state of time for the body to make it a muscle memory or a mental memory that it becomes familiar and almost a routine. But with not with a being a routine, it just becomes natural, and you just start doing it.
Because that's how you detach from being in that, like, from a habit and that too. All right. First two, you got to find another coping mechanism, a positive one. You got to find another distraction. Right, when you're trying to back habits and stuff. But with your kids, you got to put your foot down.
Yeah, I got plenty of distractions, and I don't have any, resentment towards my endeavors.
You want
It's
your
just
distractions to be
what's that?
I got this saying, I can't remember off my mind, off the top of my head, but one of them is like, you want your distractions to be pleasant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I'm going to endeavor into a distraction of my own device,
That's what,
then absolutely,
mm.
absolutely. That's why I'm content. I enjoy the fact that I have company now. I have friends that come over, but these moments where I'm in solitude, I'm content because I know how to engage myself with things that are make me happy. Keep me positive and moving forward in the state that I am now. Before I wouldn't even endeavor just because I knew that there was a potential that it was going to have an adverse effect. And now that I've taken a different position, I know that it's beneficial.
It's how to stop the mind clutter, because when your mind's like, I can like silence a lot of people, but a lot of people can't. They've got that mind chatter and the mind fuckery. So it's how to quiet the mind when you're in that silence and that stillness as well.
Yeah, that was work I done a long time ago to keep the intrusive thoughts and to silence the mind and to experience the moment without intrusion. That I was able to create within myself at a much earlier stage in my development. Now I just reap the benefits of it.
because you found your center point. A lot of people can't get there.
Yeah, I'm not contending with myself or fighting off intrusive thoughts. I'm able to just enjoy the moment peacefully, and especially whenever I've been alone and I'm not, in deep thought or study. Shit, man, those are wonderful moments of just enjoying the fruits of your work. I remember being young and the mind just would not stop, and it was constantly just like a perpetuating engine that you couldn't shut off. And I'd try and go to sleep, or I would try and sit still, or concentrate on something, but the mind just would not stop. And now, I look back after all the work I'd done, and it's like day and night. There's actual peace, solace, and silence inside my head instead of a nervous, continual, in thought state of being. But that took a lot of work too. That was a discipline that I had to learn. I think a lot of people too, they don't ever slow down in the mind.
No,
They
I've
don't
got ADD.
ever.
I'm really hot.
No, you're fine.
No, I'm down but I have to really quiet my mind to get it to actually, because it's really I work on it every day because it's like the ADD. I don't know what it is. It's like, yeah, and that's what they say. It's a downloading thing. It's just like it takes a while for me to I can't center myself that quick because I understand when people I understand when people say how they got that mind clutter or whatever. I get that, all right, but I can fight through that. But but it's not it's like I wish I could do it. Some days I'm good, but I'm still working through it. I think I'm in the city. It's a frequency. I don't want to say that, but it's just like it's an everyday thing. Like we get through it.
I just the only way I can relate is like I said, when I was younger, it wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
There was nothing I could do to shut that mind up from constantly examining situations, examining the day, looking back in the past, and wondering about the future. And when I laid all that aside and finally did achieve a state of silence by removing all that, now I look back and I think, man, how difficult that was to concentrate, to function. So I can imagine, I have a lot of empathy for your struggle.
I've got this thing that blocks me, and I'm thinking, look, I know what I'm doing. Why do I always got this interference? I don't want to say I don't want to say it is, right? Because it's like, no, because I'm above it. But it's just like, no. But it's just like, I've got this interference. And in fact, I haven't dreamt in years. I used to dream, right? And I used to dream the future. I don't dream anymore. And I haven't dreamt in many, many, many years, like over a decade. Like I stopped that sort of stuff. But like I know, like I've got this I don't know if it's me or it's like, you know what I mean? Because it's like maybe it's your ego and that. I'm looking, I don't know, because sometimes I'm okay and then sometimes I'm not. I don't know. So I don't know. It's just like, because I do feel like I get interfered, but I don't want to say it's like what's going on because I'm in the city. Because I'm all right when I go outside and I'm out, and I don't get it as much. That noise in my head. You know what I mean? I'm talking about this noise of clutter. I really feel it more in the city than when I go out in the country. So I travel.
Oh man.
So I'm not where, and it plays on you now too. How you like, I think, I don't know. So I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. But I just feel that's how it feels because okay, we'll get to this now frequency stuff. Now over the years, I used to hear like outdated computer things, like an old computer, all right. And then year 2012, we went digital, all right. And I went out to my girlfriend's house, and I'm out. She's out in the country. There's no houses, and I can hear this stuff, but I haven't got a phone on me. I've got no, but I can hear this. And then I come home, and I'm thinking. Well, sometimes I hear it. I'm thinking because it comes through my neighbours or something. It's a rule. Like I haven't heard it in a couple of years now, right? But I'm aware it went digital.
You know,
So I'm
here in
they
this
hack into
here in the city, there's the morning, like Monday morning, the frequencies start getting really bad in my around me and in my ears. And then after about 6 o'clock in the evening, it slows down. But then when they're doing uh, some type of engineering or whatever they're engaged in, man, that ringing just goes on and on and on. And I have to start tuning frequencies in to get rid of it. Because they say it's a tinnitus, and that it's just now starting to be a phenomena of recognition. I'm like, oh hell no, no, this is intrusive frequency.
because you've got downloads. The down ones, the low ones are no good. The high ones are great, but you've got to acknowledge them and fuck it off. All right, but at the same time, it's annoying. I like that.
Yeah, and I never even as loud as the amps that I was around and the decibel level of noise. No, that always went away. It's a different type of ringing. It's a different type of intrusive frequency, and I can recognize it. You know, it has nothing to do with tinnitus. But they want to. I guess that's the best way that they have to disguise it and keep it hid for what it is.
Go for it. I can't remember. I knew it wasn't. I didn't do anything. I heard people. Is there a pill for that?
Right?
Well, when they told me, right, because when I was 16, they said I had arthritis, and I took everything, pain thing, like, and then it was like by the time it was terrible, I was immune to it. So anyway, I found out later on, like, and then my sister, she was on depression pills, and she got fatty liver. I'm going, these pills, this is before 2010, I thought these pills are no good. All right, they rot in your teeth, you get free benefit from the government. So they know they rot your teeth. It's bad enough with TVs when we're young. They can have a black and white one, a little one, all right, or you've got to get bad eyesight, anything bigger. And everyone's got these big plastic and all this other stuff. That's why everyone's eyesight's going crazy as well. They all know this. Anyway, back to the medicine, right? So I realised, right, about a few years ago, they said I had fibromyalgia. And I was into the keto diet sort of thing, and I was aware of the food, and I looked into that, and then they said no, it's like it's fibro, it's the vegetables, right? It's the night shield vegetables that give you what do you call it, arthritis, inflammation. So that's one you today goes when you were young, you used to eat tomatoes and get red dots all over your face, and I go interesting. And then, so that's why now for the last whatever, like I've been saying, diet, weight and lifestyle. It's in the food. And it's just, you got to understand some foods too can give you symptoms of us. If they just keep giving you these pills, the pills are no good. Just change your diet.
Yeah,
My son, Mr. Sugar, he was born in 2000. And when he was 2003, he got diagnosed with sugar, and that's in medicine. So I had to go and see a nutritionist because my daughter was a vegetarian. I mean, she didn't eat nothing. So She was like, yeah, so I had to go and see the food and that. And that's why my son now, that was born in 2011, he's a fruitarian, turned vegetarian. He doesn't have any meat. And he's my autistic point. And so, yeah, it's in your diet. Like he's got an alkaline diet. He was fine. But now he put on heaps of weight because during COVID he found the love of bread and potatoes. So, yeah, we're gonna be onto that. Like, mate, balance. They love this food.
I've actually gotten myself to where I'm not a vegetarian. I am definitely a meat eater, but
too.
I'm actually on a regiment now where I'm not just surviving off of the delivered nutrition that I get. I'm substituting and actually eating twice as much now because I'm energetic and I'm starting to move. And I imagine by the time it's over with, I'll have my full mass back just because I wasn't eating. And I got an appetite back now. I'm actually enjoying the taste of food and eating. You know, before I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's great. That's great. Because it's food for thought as well. When you're putting the food in your mouth, like how you say, when you drink the water or you drink whatever, when you're eating and how you eat the food, what do you just
Well, I ate because I had to, and I ate as minimal amount as as just to sustain myself. But since I adjusted my frequencies and my metabolism, I'm actually enjoying the consumption of food now because I know it's being turned into a part of my regenerative process. I can feel the benefits. I can feel the energy. I can feel it um, helping to repair a lot of damage. But I use a lot of influence over what I eat, and I try and put as much positive projection within the liquid molecules and the uninfluenced molecules of what I'm about to consume so that it helps restructure, rebuild, and refortify the body. Not to mention, I do a human sacrifice once a week, and had to throw that in there.
Yeah. You know, when I started this like food thing like years ago, I did like one day like they try to do like do the chakra diet sort of thing. So one week eat red food. So I did every day. So one week I ate the red food, and I ate yellow food, and I ate yellow. You know, I went through the chakras, but I eat a lot of green foods now. All right, so I didn't do it. I didn't do it like a week, but I did do it every day, sort of thing. So sit there with the energies and to be observe like what it does to your body.
Well, I
like activate my chakras back then. I was working
right.
with them.
Your main centers, your energy points, and
yeah, every day, yeah, sort of thing, yeah. And I go, okay, we read today. It's all about the root chakra or whatever. It was so many years ago, but I remember doing it. It was all about that. I had that mindset. If you want to make it today, if you want to live it tomorrow, you go, no. If you want to make it tomorrow, you have to live it today. Yeah. That kind of mindset.
Oh, I understand that, and you know, it's a part of the mechanics behind what I'm doing. Is you know, if it wasn't for my understanding of how to influence the field and the mechanics of things, especially biology, I probably wouldn't have regenerated this quickly.
The schools
But
don't teach the right stuff with the biology, the health, like the with health and the body, with nature and maths. They don't teach the rule. They just go they teach everything about English, blah 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 blah, which I didn't click onto. But they get to one level with maths and that's it. And it's just like they don't do like because I know I always had a fight with my sister, and she always goes, "It's language is great." I go, "No, it's maths." Something with maths and music, right? I'm right. I always knew as a kid, right? And I had this battle with her, and I said it to her a few years ago. See, I'm right.
right?
Yeah, yeah. But there's so much with more with maths and music. Like I've always like yeah, and you can go so much with it, but they don't teach the right stuff at schools.
No, they've quit
Not even about the
teaching any
body,
beneficial fundamentals.
what a true woman's body is and stuff. You learn that at the morgue, and only some morgues.
Oh, yeah, but isn't that kind of your last endeavor? It doesn't matter at that point
Yeah, but they don't
if you're
talk
in the
about
morgue.
DMs and all these other people. Like, it's just like they don't talk about the real structure of the body and stuff. So if you
Oh
observe and you
no,
understand, you see it, you see the trait. There's a balance. They're not balanced.
absolutely, and we have a polarity to us, and we have an encoded mathematics from genetics all the way to our physical state in the whole, and they don't teach how to utilize internal energy and the mechanics of how to do things. They just kind of throw a summary at you, and that's good enough. Moving on to the next grade.
It's perfect though. It's done by design. Your ego is formed at 3 years old. Everyone sends themselves off to their kids to stay care. So you sold them off now. You let strangers raise them.
Right.
All right, and then at 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock, between 8 and 10, you get your downloads, but that's when school attention, all these schools and private schools, all right, it's attention, it's just a programming, and then you wonder why. That quality time, you already sold them out, you turn them into kids of spawn, and we've done it to ourselves as well.
Well, I always thought it was miserable that they wanted me to go to school so early, but then I realized that uh, you're vulnerable,
Mm.
especially young. Whenever you've just come out of sleep and you're dragging your ass off to school, and the mind is not in a state of defensiveness. It's still in a state of trying to become consciously awake and aware for the day. So you're easily programmed in that stage. I know even now, when I wake up, even out of the influence, uh, shit, it ain't till my third or fourth cup of coffee that I start becoming even coherent enough to want to do anything.
Yeah, second coffee, I'm awake. Other, I'm on autopilot. If you see me, because I've got Gemini moon and Taurus rising, so I'm up, bang, 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 bang. But I'm not there. It's just auto. My second coffee, I'm awake.
Right, I just ride on autopilot. My eyes flip open until I stimulate myself with caffeine and do a little bit of breathing to get myself coherent. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to start.
Mm.
I do remember the enjoyment and the freedom of being a little more youthful and just waking up and bam, going right to it. I didn't need coffee. I didn't need anything. And
That's when I was young. That's when I was young. went to work. Yeah, life was full of life. That's 417 before the world caved in. Because at 19 I got married, so it was like,
Right? Jumped right in the game.
yeah.
Right in the game. You know, I'm sorry, Fools and Tools, but I'm really relaxed, content, and happy. And I
That's all right.
think I can get some good rest right now, if you don't
All
mind.
right. Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. Yeah, okay. It's fine. That's cool. That's cool. That's nice. All right, then I'll let you go. And thanks for having me up here. Yeah, that's nice.
Always,
That's
Fools and
nice.
Tools. And
Okay, so I calmed you down.
yeah, it's been very peaceful. This has been just really relaxing and laid back, and it's just been no stress, no hassle, just flow. And man, Sarah, thank you for being here, being a part of it in the chat. Fools and Toys, you are so welcomed here. You are always a welcome guest on panel, in chat. You have free reign here. You know that. Um, the freak, we'll have to put that off to a later day, and I'm sure he'll understand. And Venus, I don't hold any resentment. I understand that your endeavors tonight on your platform are uh, directed. And man, Zola, thank you for appearing out of the lurking committee. Pam, always welcome your presence. KC, even Dom made a comment. So it has just been a wonderful, peaceful night, man. And I appreciate you all.
Thank you, Access. Okay, I'll leave. Okay, much love.
Yes, yes. Tomorrow's a whole new endeavor. All right, everyone. Wow. I'm just really comfortably at peace. And I thank everyone for showing up. Uh, everyone that has been here tonight to experience this, and I hope that you somehow find the same peace and contentment that I'm experiencing now. Thank you all. This has been a wonderful experience for me, and all love. Access out.